So some people asked about how I made that wire wheel. So I was going to make some pictures, but I think it just might be easier to do it in a video. So we'll give that a shot, depending on the lighting here. But so this is the wheel. What I did was I painted it. I painted the whole thing silver. Which covered the inner rim and the spokes and actually the tire as well. I should have painted the other side, but I forgot the way I had it mounted. But it should have like twice as many spokes, but it's too late to do anything about that now. So I'm just going to leave it like it is. It's still much better than the clear insert. What they do is they give you a clear piece of plastic to put over the wheel. I guess you could use a very thin pen or marker to mark those lines, which would be in black or silver, and those would be your spokes. But that just, I wanted to try to avoid that unless I had to. So with that said, now I first drilled a set of holes in here and did it one way, and that didn't work. So then I re-drilled the holes in a different position, and that seemed to work better. And after I painted it silver, I painted the tire black, then I used some chrome paint on the cap. This is from looking at pictures of the real car. The inside of the wheel actually has a flat piece of metal with round circles in it. Again, if I was going to start this over, or I had another kid, I could redo the wheel, but I'm just not going to do that. It's going to be fine the way it is. There's only so much you can do with this kit anyway. It's a very basic kit. So this, I need to touch up on the black paint, and then I need to paint that silver on the back. When I paint the other three wheels, I'll paint the whole thing silver front and back, and then that'll eliminate me having to do this back part by hand. The wheel comes as two pieces. Now you can't really, you could drill the holes like this with the piece in there, but once you put it together, and I'll show you here, you put it together, the center post in there is going to be in the way of when you put the wire in there, so which is actually a guitar string. You could use wire, I imagine, if it's thin enough, but this is what I had. So I prefer to just not put it together and just do it like this. I'm using just have a toothpick on the end so I can find it. It's very thin. This is a E string on a guitar, so I just had laying around. I have some extra guitar strings laying around, and this would normally be the thinnest string on a guitar to begin with. So it seemed like it would be a little closer to in scale, and I was able to find a drill bit in the drill bits that I have for this pin vise. It's not the greatest pin vise. This particular one isn't, but it gets the job done for today. I have another pin vise which is a little better, but it won't hold a drill bit this tiny. So that's that, and then I just leave that off to the side, and then I marked this. It's going to be hard to see, but I marked this with this thin marker, which is a Gundam marker for, like, you know, body lines or something. I marked it in 4 places across from each other, and then I put 2 marks inside that. I did the X first because I wanted to try to get that centered, and then the other 2 would just center themselves. What you're doing is you're drilling a hole on each side, and you're running the wire through one side, across here, and into the other side. That's the way I did it initially. So when I did that, I'll do one first. I'm going to stop it and I'll do that, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so if you can see it, I've gone ahead and drilled one of the cross holes, and I fed the wire underneath through the hole all the way across the tire, all the way inside through the rim, and then it comes out the other side. Now what I've been doing is I just pull it till it's inside the rim in this case, and then I just hold that and then I just trim it. Like that. And what I've been doing is putting a dab of super glue or CA glue on each side to hold it, because I don't want these to come out when I'm messing around with it. So you can see we have one centered spoke all the way across, and I'm going to do this all the way around, and then when I do this all the way around, I'll start the video again and you'll see what it looks like. But that's how I started. So let me freeze it and then we'll come back. I need a few minutes to do this. This takes about 15-20 minutes. So I will come back. So this is what we get when you put it all together. Move all this out of the way. You can see, hopefully you can see the different wires in there from the back. All of those have been, you just need a little pinpoint of super glue at each end of the wire to hold it in there. And then you have to make sure that it's inside the tire. You don't want it to be on top of the tire ridge there, because then when you go to put the two pieces of the tire together, it will interfere with that. So just make sure they're all inside the tire. And then that's what it looks like on the other side. Now, the next thing to do that I did is to slip the back in. Now you could probably leave it like this and just put the knockoff on the outside of it, but I didn't like the way that looked, because it seemed to me that the knockoff was a little high and stuck out too far. So what I did was I took these wires and I clipped them just before the hub, and then glued all the way around the hub and held them all in place there. Then when I did that, this knockoff cap attaches to the inner piece there, and then that would hold all the wires in place. So I'm going to do that now. Actually, I could probably clip a couple of them while you're here, but I'm just going to, I just take this here and I clip them so that they're even. And you can move them around with, you're going to have a pair of tweezers to do this work. Because when you feed it through the tire, you're going to feed it through the one hole, say here on the right, and then you're going to use these to pull it through and put it through the hole on the other side. It doesn't matter to me, I don't think it matters if you run the wire above or below each wire. The first two wires I did to make the first cross were kind of like one on top of the other, but then the rest of them I pushed them through underneath those to in hindsight it probably doesn't make any difference, because when I went to put the cap on there I ended up cutting them anyway. If you're not comfortable with cutting them, you could just probably leave it like that, glue the knockoff cap on there and just be done with it. But like I say, I thought it stuck out too far that way. I wanted the spokes more inside the rim of the wheel. So, and then I just took this and all the way around. I'm going to do it off camera because I can't really see what I'm doing through the camera. So I'll do that real quick. I'll super glue it, and then you'll see what it looks like, and then we'll put the cap on it. So here I've cut the spokes, and then I super glued them to the shaft, to the center hub, and we're just going to put the cap and if I can get it turned up the right way, I'm just going to put the cap on the top, like that. And that will fit on top of the center, and then there we go, it's on there, I think. Yeah. So that's how I did it. There's probably other ways you could do it. I mean, you could cut tiny little pieces here and just feed it in the hole and not have to cut it like I did. But I think by feeding it all the way through, it just allows you to keep them all straight in the middle, and then when you clip it, you can move them around. That just seemed to work for me. So now all I have to do is I'll paint the whole thing silver, and then I'll paint the tire black, of course, use chrome on the knockoff, and then the second wheel will be done. And you could obviously add more holes in there if you wanted to, probably on the second lip in here. You could add more holes and then add more spokes below it, below these, to make it look even better. Since I already did the first one a different way, I don't want to go back and mess with it. So I can live with the way it is. But if I was doing this again or building another car like this, I would probably take a little more patience and do it that way. Now these wheels here, I believe these are the front wheels, and they are a little smaller, but it should work the same. It's hard to say. The only reason I drill the holes and mark them and all that in two pieces is because you can see that cap is in the way. So if you go to run the wire all the way across so that you can see what you're doing and keep them even, that would be in the way. And I almost tried that on the first one, but once I put the first one in there and I was trying to go around this, it wasn't working. So I just did the one side of the tire by itself. Otherwise I would have had a bent spoke. All the spokes would have been bent around the hub, and I didn't want that. This way, when you're looking at it this way, it looks like they're attached to the hub like they should be. So anyway, that's how I did it. If anybody wants to know, I appreciate everybody watching and checking it out. You know, you can do a lot of amazing things when you don't have any money. I just not so much that, but sometimes it's the mother of invention when you decide that rather than spend $30 or whatever it is for a set of wheels or something like that, let's say, I'd rather spend that money on a kit. And like I say, this kit is very basic, so it's not like a Tamiya kit or something else that's like super fantastic. I mean, I'm not bad-mouthing the kit. I like the kit. This is the second one I built. I built one sometime probably in the 80s or 90s, and I had fun building it, and I'm having fun building this one. This one will be much improved over the first one, because the first one, my modeling skills aren't what they are today, and back then I was just putting a model together and I wasn't adding any detail whatsoever. And of course there were no real accessories in the 1980s and barely in the 90s. So you had to build a model using your own things that you fabricated, or you just built it box stock. That was the only way. So, but that's it. I don't know what else to show you. I think that just about covers it. My next attempt, I'm going to do is I might try to cut this out, this grill, and then make my own grill. So if I am able to do that, that could be another video. Let's see if I can accomplish that task. But you can see how that fits together. I think there's plenty of room in there, even with the engine, to cut that out, and I have some plastic strip, and I might be able to do that. And then I would probably have to, I don't think I could fabricate it as one piece separate from this, which would be great because it would be easy to paint. I've got to look at the picture of the real car. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be like silver. Not chrome necessarily, but probably silver. At least it is on the illustration on the box. But I'm not sure I could build that separate. I might be able to. It would be nice if I could, because I could paint that. I could cut that out, paint this with the body all at the same time, and it would look much better with the grill after I painted it than install the grill from behind. So we'll see what I come up with that. I mean, technically I have nearly a whole year to figure it out, but because this build isn't due till sometime in December at the end of the year, and that's a long way off. But all these little things, hopefully by the end of the year, will add up to something that makes the car look better, and we will see on this journey. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. This is a pretty good tip, I guess. I mean, it's probably worth a like, right? But I appreciate everybody commenting, and I'm glad people ask about it. I don't mind showing how I did it. I didn't anticipate that, but I appreciate it that you thought it was worth seeing how it was done. And I hope it helps everybody. And there are probably other applications you could do this on. I don't know what, but you know, maybe you want wire wheels for a car model project you're building, whether it had wire wheels or not. You have sort of a way to make your own, if that helps. So that's it. I'll catch you later.